far too many people allow themselves to be defined by the hardships and heartbreak they've endured. DeAnna Bookert is no stranger to hardship, but she has learned to use her personal experiences to help find her purpose. Now she's empowering others to fully embrace their testimony and travel the path from broken to better. I had the chance to speak with DeAnna and two of her guest speakers about what to expect at her annual empowerment conference. This year's theme, I'm not broken, I'm better. DeAnna, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. I know you guys got a lot going on. You also have your annual empowerment conference coming up.
Yes.
Would you tell us a little bit about this year's theme?
This year's theme is I'm not broken, I'm better. And really just looking back on the conferences for the past few years, just hearing everyone's testimony after the conference and just sharing their story of overcoming obstacles. We just really wanted to expand on that some this year and really bring in some speakers that can really bring home what does it look like to be an overcomer, and especially when many people may look at you and count you lost and don't see that there's any hope for a future for you based on your condition and choices that you've made. But these individuals that are speakers, they've made the choice to make something of their life, even overcoming adversity and things that they've had to deal with in their past.
Okay. This is, I believe, your third annual.
This is the third year.
So why has it been important for you to hold these conferences?
Well, definitely it's not easy putting together a conference, but I find so much fulfillment and the energy and the drive to do it again the following year, just the complete support and the feedback that I get from those that attend and those that even hear about it but wasn't able to attend. So every year the number continues to grow, and I just think about the times when I dealt with depression, and although I was going to church and reading the word and praying, it wasn't until someone came to me and was able to share their story of overcoming. And that helped me know that, you know what, I can make it, I can overcome this, and you know, there is a future. So I do believe what the word says, that we're overcomers by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So I think that this allows me to create that platform for people to really share their stories that can help someone else. And that someone else can be someone that we just don't know, complete stranger, but they need to hear our stories.
Okay. Would you, I'm glad you mentioned that. Would you consider these conferences as part of your ministry?
I do believe it is. I think that we all have a purpose, and this is part of my purpose, is creating platforms in order to allow people to share their stories that may not have their platforms in what I would consider a non-traditional environment. So it's not in a church, it's a non-traditional environment, and it's, people come in and they come from all over. I've had people come from all over the state to be a part of the conference.
Okay. Now, how do you go about picking the speakers for these conferences?
I very much so. I love to watch social media and watch people grow and how they share their stories and share the good times and the bad times and share how they were able to overcome and the consistency of it. Because a lot of times I get a lot of people that want to be speakers and be a part of the conference. But it's very helpful to see that, people that share their story and there's a consistency in their growth and they really have a heart and a desire to help other people. So it's a process because I know every year people come with the expectation of really hearing great stories and seeing people that have been able to overcome different obstacles. So during the year, I just watch people's social media. I attend events and hear different stories, and people reach out to me all the time. So it's a process, but it's really me just watching over the year and seeing, who will be that next person that's going to be on the platform to share their story, and hopefully there's someone that can help someone else overcome an obstacle.
Okay. Tell us when and where this year's conference will take place.
This year's conference is on June the 13th, and it's at 930 Richland Street. The time is at 5 p.m.
Okay, then. Looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you.
Fellas, man, how y'all doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. Glad to be sitting down with you guys, man. You guys are going to be guest speakers at one of DeAnna's upcoming empowerment conference. The last couple of conferences, she didn't have no men. So I got on it, and so now you guys are going to be panelists. Antoine, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, man? Just briefly.
My name is Antoine Jackson. I'm the youngest son of Pastor Darrell Jackson, Senior Pastor at Bible Church of Atlas Road, and Associate Pastor William A. Jackson as Associate Pastor also at the Bible Church of Atlas Road. I am the head coach of the junior varsity team at Druid High School. I'm also the director of our wellness and director of our youth department. I am also a licensed minister. Born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, right out there off Bluff Road, man. Went to Druid High School. Attend Benedict College right now, trying to further my education, and just got a heart and a zeal for young people and Christ, and just trying to see as many young people as possible just know Christ and change their lives.
All right, great, man. Viticus, a little bit about yourself. We sat down with you before, but
yes, sir. But I don't mind introducing myself again. How you doing? I'm Viticus Thomas, born and raised here in Columbia, South Carolina. Keenan High School graduate, Johnson C. Smith graduate right there in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now I'm the new community outreach representative for Centura College. My boss told me one thing: if I'm in the office, I'm not working. So my job is to reach out in the community, build partnerships, help people to become successful. Also an entrepreneur. Me and my wife have a business, a faith-based business, dating and waiting, with It Works Global, and also a photographer with VT Photography. So my job, my passion is people, community, outreach.
Excellent. Now, let's get into the actual conference. The title of the conference is "I'm Not Broken, I'm Better." Antoine, could you tell us a little bit, what will you be speaking about on the day of the conference?
Well, my topic I would just I would just give my personal testimony on how God delivered me from a life of crime, a life of drug addiction, a life of narcotic sellings and gang violence that I used to be a part of. So I'm just going to be basically encouraging anybody who is listening that, God can bring you from brokenness to betterness.
Okay. Growing up here in the Midlands and especially the Columbia area, do you see that there is a great need, maybe more so now than before, of mentoring programs and especially getting young black males involved?
I definitely see a great need in our African American community here in Columbia, South Carolina, because a lot of our young black males are fatherless. So we need more African American males to step up and fill that void, because this is how we join the gangs. Even though I come from a two-parent household, but the void was for them being so busy with the church and stuff, like the gangs and the different cliques around the neighborhood filled that void of false love. I call it like smoke and mirrors love. It's love is just love redirected in the wrong places. And so that's what they do. They find themselves, being a part of this game because they don't get the love at home. And it's not really the mom's fault. I mean, she's trying to do all she can, work 2 or 3 jobs, provide, put food on the table, put clothes on his back. But the absence of the father is just the reality of it, that they gonna try to find that missing piece in their life, and sometimes they find it in the wrong outlet. So I think it is definitely a need for more African American males to step up and play their part.
Okay. Viticus, if you would, a little bit about the topic you'll be speaking on.
It's so funny that Antoine was talking about kids without fathers, because I am a product of a single-parent home. I am that male that was raised by his mother. While I know my father and I can reach out to him through phone, it's nothing like having 2 parents in the household. So my whole thing is just talking about the voice within, not having my earthly father there, but always listening to my heavenly father. That voice within, where I might have been 2 decisions away from jail. I might have been 2 decisions away from death. Finding out who's that voice within, that voice is God. So I want to talk to people about knowing who to listen to, not your friends, but listen to the friend. So just about how God has gotten me out of a lot of things, my testimony, how I've been living a big life of sin, and how I got out of it, and pretty much how it's cool to be a Christian.
And I want you to try to take this question and give me a brief answer, as brief as possible. The title of the conference, "I'm Not Broken, I'm Better."
Okay.
At what point, or at what situation in your life did you feel as though you was going to break? If you understand what I'm asking.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I was living in Charlotte. Very brief. I was living in Charlotte, and I lost my job. I'm a person with a degree, but I didn't have a great job. So I called my grandma, and I said, Grandma, I need some money. I called my father. I said, Dad, I need some money. I'm not going to be able to make rent. And the day I really became a man is when both of them told me on the phone, I can't help you. Click. When I got that tough love from them and somebody who was by himself, nobody to financially help him, had to figure it out on my own, that's the point where I felt I was going to break because I had no one to go to. And that's when, honestly, not trying to be deep, but that's when I went to God and said, God, I need your help. Pride comes before the fall.
Exactly.
I had to not be prideful. I have a degree, but I can't walk around here trying to get that great job. I got to work these jobs I don't want in order to get to that point that I do want. It's all about building your resume. So only thing I can say is I set aside my pride. I worked until I got to where I am now.
And I did the same thing. Pride just came in a different facet for me. I had a child at the age of 23, and that kind of changed my life. When I had my daughter, Kimbrielle, and I was still selling drugs out there in the street, and I was still doing like a lot of, running around here with the wrong crowd, having guns and stuff like that. It really hit me like a ton of bricks when I got arrested. And she was like 6 months years old, and the reality set in that, man, you know what? I don't want my daughter to see me behind this glass window. And so, like Vitica said, man, it's the pride thing. I was prideful, like, well, I got to provide for her. I got to maintain. I don't want my parents to always, fund, what I got going on. I need to get it on my own. And at that time, I have no education behind that. I basically was, just a high school diploma, dropped out of college. So it's like, the streets, was right there for me. So just, being short again, like this pride, man, I had to put my pride aside. I had to allow Jesus into my life, and then I went forward and continued to make better life for not only me, but my seed.